Welcome to today's enriching episode, where we are thrilled to welcome Ms. Jeenal Shah, a distinguished nutritionist and wellness expert. She is known for her unique ability to weave together traditional nutrition wisdom with cutting edge scientific research, creating balanced and sustainable lifestyles that resonate with modern audiences. Her approach emphasizes the importance of eating local, seasonal, and mindful foods, empowering individuals to make transformative choices that not only enhance their personal health but also contribute positively to the planet. In this enlightening conversation, we'll dive into how her work intersects with global sustainability goals, exploring the pressing needs for mindful consumption in today's world. She will share invaluable tips on embracing nourishing foods, ensuring our bodies remain healthy and light. Furthermore, we will discuss the profound impact that mindful eating can have, not just on our health, but also in the broader environment. Get ready for a wealth of insights that will inspire you to rethink the way you eat and live. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more inspiring conversations, and follow ecopathy.jaivi. The links are there in the description box below. Let's dive in. So, what's your favorite winter superfood?
I don't have one favorite superfood, but my favorite winter delicacy is undio.
Essential nutrient for immunity.
Well, the essential nutrient is nutrient S, sleep.
Best way to stay hydrated in winter.
Oh, to go to all the local traditional sharbats, so we have Amla Sharbat, there is
Right.
Baryali Sharbat.
Alright, so the preferred source of dietary fiber.
Well, actually, just everything that comes from our kitchen has enough fiber and all nutrients.
Right.
So go to home cooked kitchen meals.
Ideal post workout snack.
Ideally, a full meal, a breakfast option like poha, upma, thepla, or lunch, roti, sabzi, dal, chawal, or a khichdi for dinner. A full meal post workout.
Best advice for maintaining gut health.
Adding enough ghee to your meals as per the time tested proportion that we already are aware of from our kitchens, but make sure that your breakfast, lunch, and dinner all three have ghee in the meal.
Then, one word to describe your nutrition philosophy.
I would say common sensible.
Alright, your go to comfort food.
Khichdi.
Top pick for a quick energy boost.
Banana.
One word to describe the Indian diet.
Future proof.
Alright, your favorite seasonal fruit.
Mango.
Favorite winter beverage.
Bajra rag.
Key to sustainable weight loss.
Local seasonal tradition. Eating food that is local seasonal tradition.
So, one word to describe your TEDx experience.
Wow. Eternal.
Best advice for maintaining gut health.
Don't go for any hashtag foods.
Hello, ma'am, how are you doing?
Hi. Nice to meet you, Jaivi. Very good, and it's a wonderful start, a wonderful Monday morning with you, Jaivi.
Great, amazing. So, alright, so what role does traditional Indian food play in promoting health and sustainability?
The best part about traditional Indian food is that it is deep rooted in culture, in climate, in crop cycle. What I mean by that is culture. Like, a Gujarati will eat differently from a Marwari. We will cook different meals in Maharashtra versus in Andhra. So we are all very, very deep rooted to our culture. Climate, like for example, we are in winter right now. So we eat delicacies at home which are in season at this point. So right now there are all the winter vegetables. There is mooli, there is naval kol, there is all the roots and tubers. So we make things like undu,
Right.
umbadiyo, all of these traditional delicacies. So we are very much deep rooted in what is in season as well. And crop cycle is essentially, for example, right now we had Makar Sankranti
Yes.
on Jan 14th, right? And that's the season which celebrates the harvest of til. So this combination of til and jaggery in the form of chickpeas
Yes.
or laddus it essentially is to keep the body warm and to also allow to boost immunity, because this is also the time when there is season transitions, you know, from harsh winters into moving towards more like a spring
Yes.
season. So at that time it helps to keep the immunity going. So if you think about it, you know, Indian food wisdom is very, very intelligent and it's very future proof, and when it is taking into account culture, climate and crop cycle, it is of course sustainable as well.
Right. I truly
You know, even in for example, like when I was talking about til, in Maharashtra, so when on Makar Sankranti, when you exchange til laddus or chikkis with each other, you even say a thing like Tirgur Gya Gor Gor Bola.
Okay.
You know, that may the sweetness of this delicacy add to the sweetness in our relationship. So there is just, you know, a lot of depth into everything that we do, and it's, like I said, very deep rooted in culture, climate and crop cycle.
beautiful. So, how can individuals balance modern food trends with traditional eating habits for a sustainable lifestyle?
You know, firstly, what we should know that our grandmother's wisdom is actually way more forward and modern than what we think of modern food. I mean, look at turmeric latte, right?
Yes.
हल्दी वाला दूध तो हम सब पीते ही आए हैं. It's been a time-tested, you know, therapy when you have a bad throat, or it works like a beautiful nightcap. It's something that helps you sleep well in the night.
Right.
पर अभी क्या है कि उसको एक अंग्रेजी नाम दिया and it's called golden milk or turmeric latte. So we think like this is the modern food, but actually traditional food is modern, forward, wholesome. It has everything that you need without the hashtags.
Correct.
You know, so yeah, so we don't need to do that. And as far as food is concerned, what we should go by is planning and eating our meals that allow us, which is what Indian food wisdom is already doing, right? It has already always done that. It focuses on foods which allow to improve your individual health, foods that allow to improve the health of the local economy and your, you know, farmers, because you are constantly buying food that is local and in season, and food which takes care of the global ecology or the environment at large, because every time you're eating food and buying it from your local markets, you're not buying food that is traveling long distances to reach you.
Yes.
And coming in plastic packaging. So Indian food wisdom is already about individual health, local economy and global ecology. So modern trends तो जाने दो, आप बस आपका घर का फूड विजडम फॉलो करो एंड मॉडर्न आप दिखोगे और फिट रहोगे.
Maybe in simple words, I can phrase eat local, think global.
Absolutely. Eat local, think global.
Totally. The UN's SDG 12 focuses on responsible consumption and production. So, how can individuals apply this in their everyday food choices?
You know, we work with a lot of children as well, and we also run an initiative at Rujta ma'am's ancestral farm, which is Sonave, which is called a Sonave Community Farming Project, where we have all the city folks come in once every month and we do various farming activities. And one of the things that we always try to advocate is choose farms over malls. So take your children to farms versus taking them to malls, because you know they are actually going to be able to see how food grows,
Yes.
actually put their hands into the soil. You know, they will just have that much more love and compassion towards what they are eating. The other thing that is very important is that you buy in cities. You buy your local fruits, your local vegetables, you know, all the fresh produce from your local vendors versus, so buy it from all the food carts versus the Instamarts or versus the going to like a supermarket and buying it. So patronize your local fruit wala bhaiya ji or your bhaji wali bai, you know, who will come and give you all the fruits and vegetables, because they're going to have the stuff which is local and they're going to have the stuff that is not traveled a long distance. So in our day-to-day life, when we're looking at good health and well-being, these are two things that
Yes.
we should do. And the third thing that we should do as a family and as a community is not look at food as nutrients, dividing food into carbohydrates,
Right.
proteins, fats, and calories. In fact, now even has a term, it's called as nutritionism.
Oh.
Nutritionism, like any other ism, sexism, ageism, racism, is discriminatory. So every time that you are breaking down food and eating it just as nutrients, मैं थोड़ा protein खाऊंगी, मैं थोड़ा carb खाऊंगी, we are creating more havoc for our health as well as for our ecology. So ensure that you are not looking at food as nutrients, but eating it as a wholesome meal and eating it in its time tested combinations and proportions.
Right. So it also boosts up economy, as you said, patronizing and focusing on the local vendors. And at the same time, it's a proper food triangle that you're following.
Absolutely. And it's also therefore giving you access to the best stuff, right? Because every time that you're eating food that is local to you, that is seasonal, that is growing around you, it is actually going to be the best quality.
Right. So the balance is the correct word to use here.
Yeah.
All right. So since you mentioned about being into the farms, food waste is also a significant issue worldwide. So what are your
Right.
thoughts on the same?
So one of the other things that we do encourage, and we try to, when we go to schools or when we're working with children, we ask their families to get them to do some amount of farming. So farming is a life skill just like anything else, just as important as cooking as well. But farming essentially with children teaches you three things. One is respect. You learn to respect the food that you're eating. You learn to, of course, also respect each other because you care about the labor that goes into it. The other thing that it teaches you is responsibility. That you actually end up eating your food with much more responsibility because you know how much labor goes into it. There is so much more compassion
Right.
behind it. And the third thing is that it teaches you resilience. It allows our children to be a lot more stronger mentally and physically both. So farming is something that should be in at least a small extent a part of our curriculum because it helps you with these 3 R's, that is respect, responsibility and resilience. That's something that helps with automatically reducing food wastage at an individual level because you have that much more awareness. When we are looking at the larger perspective, if we are just following time-tested practices of eating food as well as growing food, then the food wastage is minimal. If you look at, like I was talking about Sonave Community Farming Project, right, where we grow various things. So for example, right now there is groundnuts which is there on the fields. When the groundnut is ready to harvest, उसका जो pod रहता है, जो groundnut रहता है, you use it for many things. You use it to eat it as it is in a roasted form. You extract oil from it, so which can be used for cooking. फिर जो leftover रहता है उसका, that is all fed to the cattle as fodder.
Okay.
So, our indigenous crops, if we look at all the food that we grow in our soil, they are doing they own their waste, much more than what big food companies would do that. So all the fodder, all the excess is going to, the leftover rather, is going to the cattle as fodder. So basically there's zero waste.
Correct.
Then in the whole crop cycle, once there is peanuts harvest कर लिया, उसके बाद what groundnuts or peanuts do, or all of these pulses and legumes do, they help to fix the nitrogen back into the soil. So then the soil is ready for, in this case we sow rice because this region grows more rice. So then the soil is ready for rice.
Yes.
And that's how this entire crop cycle works. So it is, it's just an automatic process and it really helps to reduce food wastage. So in many ways, if you just stick to your time tested methods of eating and growing food, your food wastage is that much lesser. And the last thing in this, what you should know is that every time you're eating food that is local, that is seasonal, that is traditional, there is zero food miles, there is zero footprint, it is all ecologically smart to begin with. So that's the best food to kind of have on your plates. So that's how you will be able to reduce food wastage. So yeah, eat lesser out of packets and more out of your kitchen.
Yes. And since you also mentioned this, I feel that festivities also celebrate the crop cycle.
Yes. All of them do. Like til, for example, harvest of til, it marks the festival of Makar Sankranti. Harvest of rice marks the festival of Dasera. So yes, our culture is like that. That festivals are basically to mark the harvest season.
Correct. So, just extending on to the point, can you talk about the importance of eating local and seasonal produce for health and environmental impact?
See, as far as health is concerned, every time that you're eating food that is local, that is in season, that is traditional to you, your body understands what you're eating, it recognizes it, and it is able to digest it well and absorb all the nutrients from it. So, of course, in terms of health, it is going to help you to keep away from what is called as the non-communicable diseases, whether it is diabetes, heart issues, PCOD, thyroid, even up to cancer, if you are just sticking to the food that is local, seasonal, and traditional. In terms of the ecology, when we look at it, like I was already mentioning, that it will help to reduce food miles, it helps to reduce food wastage, there is lesser use of plastic. So, in terms of sustainability and ecological health, of course, it makes all the sense to stick to your local, seasonal, and traditional food. And then there is just too much confusion around food. See, the food and the weight loss industry has only that much to play around with. तो वो क्या करता है कि कल का हीरो आज का विलन, आज का विलन कल का हीरो. तो 40 साल तक it has told us कि फैट मत खाओ, फैट मत खाओ, फैट मत खाओ. And then just a few years ago, fat becomes the hero, and there are diet fads which are talking about high fat diets. And very soon you will hear that about another nutrient. So that keeps happening. So they keep making money, and बकरा एक ही है, हम पब्लिक. ओके, टाइम टेस्टेड फूड विजडम चेंज नहीं होता है. अगर हमारी दादी नानी बचपन से घी खा रही है, वो अभी भी घी खा रही है. वो ऐसा नहीं कि बीच में घी से कोकोनट ऑयल पे स्विच हो गए, फिर वर्जिन ऑलिव ऑयल पे स्विच हो गए. दे आर फॉलोइंग देयर टाइम टेस्टेड विजडम, एंड एज यू सी देम, दे आर फिट, दे आर हैप्पी, दे आर एनर्जेटिक, देयर सेंस ऑफ ह्यूमर इज ग्रेट, देयर हेयर, देयर स्किन, एवरीथिंग इज अमेजिंग, राइट? सो टाइम टेस्टेड विजडम तो हमारी आंखों के सामने हमको दिख रहा है, लिविंग ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हु आर एक्चुअली जस्ट नॉट जस्ट सर्वाइविंग बट थ्राइविंग एंड हैविंग अ ग्रेट लाइफ. So I think we don't need more proof than that, and we don't need research to tell us that local, seasonal, and traditional is the way forward. It is a way to future-proof your health.
Correct. And with the correct food intact, I feel also physical health is equally important.
Absolutely. And therefore, it is important for us to also, vote the right people, to demand for the right things from all, to get footpaths, to make sure that it is easily accessible for us to walk on roads, for us to have space for open spaces and green spaces for our girls and boys to play in. अगर ये सब नहीं रहेगा तो how are we expecting optimum health? Obesity is not an individual problem. It's a environment, society. It's everybody's at fault, for that. So we need all of those things in place so that our children, our elderly, our parents, all of them have access to good health and access to good activity too.
Right. Alright. So with winter here, what are your top tips for eating seasonally and at the same time sustainably?
So see, पहले तो थोड़ा देखो आसपास, अपने किचन में ही थोड़ा झाँक के देखो. All the vidya of food comes from the kitchen. So see what all is there, what's coming in your kitchen. There are so many seasonal vegetables right now. There is mooli, there is palak, there is methi, there is sweet potato, there is kand, there is amla, there is sugarcane, there are fruits like bear. पर अपना क्या हो गया है ना कि अगर अंग्रेज़ी में नाम नहीं है, if it doesn't sound fancy, unpronounceable, if it isn't very expensive, we don't have value for all the food. We want somebody to tell us that have this hashtag kale smoothie for hashtag gut health, तो हम खाएंगे. So we have to move out of that, and we need to get into just looking at what's growing around us and looking at what's being cooked in our kitchen and eating all of that. Winter is a time of lot of vegetables, lot of fruits, lot of preparations that we make, things like gajar halwa, things like umbadiyu,
Yes.
things like kali gajar ki kanji. There are so many beautiful time-tested combinations and recipes that we make. We just need to work at eating that, bringing back onto our plates, and health is just going to not be a difficult one to crack. There are enough other challenges that we have in day-to-day life.
Right.
तो जो simple है उसको complicate मत करो, बस eat local, seasonal, traditional, home food is nothing but simple, sensible and smart. Just follow that blindly.
Correct. Beautiful. So how can nutrition education contribute to achieving the SDG 3, good health and well-being?
Okay. So when we're talking about good health and well-being, one of the things that we should definitely work at actively doing through nutrition education is reducing the intake of ultra-processed and packaged foods.
Right.
See, today the problem is that we are okay to just open a packet and eat out of it, but we have a problem of eating the food that is coming from our homes or that is coming from our kitchens.
Right.
So, रुचिता मैम ऑलवेज सेज दिस कि जितना पैकेट खुलेगा उतना पेट फूलेगा, तो उतनी ज़्यादा हेल्थ की तकलीफ़ें, उतनी ज़्यादा बीमारियाँ, उतना ज़्यादा प्लास्टिक. सो वी हैव टू बी अवेयर ऑफ दैट. So reduce the intake of processed and packaged foods. That's one. The other thing that we should know, and especially all of our earlier we used to say that all of our children should be taught this, but now I think it's not just children. I think adults do this much more, that we should know that everything that has an ad is bad. कि अगर आपके फेवरेट स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन ने या आपके फेवरेट एक्ट्रेस ने या एक्टर ने इसको एंडोर्स किया है, तो उसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो भी वो खा रहे हैं जिसके वजह से दे आर लुकिंग एज ग्रेट एज दे आर लुकिंग. फॉर देम इट्स एन ऑक्यूपेशनल hazard. Okay, they are doing it because it allows them to make money. That's their line of that's what they do for a living. But for us, we don't need to be eating those foods that are positioned, priced and marketed to us like that. Food industry has big budgets. Our farmers do not have the big budgets, but they have the real stuff and they have the healthy stuff. So if we are looking at good health and well-being for everyone, we have to keep everything that has an ad away from us. We have to keep everything that is coming in packages away from us. We have to keep everything that is sold to us on social media, on Instagram posts, on Facebook posts as, do this diet for 2 weeks and see what. So ये सारी चीज़ें जो है उससे हमको दूर रहना है, and we just should stick to the vidya that we have been taught and passed down by our
ancestors and
families. Yes.
Alright, so I've also heard about the black water as a lot in trend right now. So what are your thoughts on that?
Wow. I don't know how would one eat black water. Earlier, like you hear of things like you throw, like it's a way of humiliating people, right? Throwing black water or black paint on them. I don't know what drinking black water would mean. No, I think we have such a beautiful method in India. Sorry, we have such a beautiful method in India of storing water in matkas.
Right.
The mud matkas that we have, which allows to keep the water naturally cool. It allows for naturally allowing the water to be enriched with minerals. तो I think हमको बस वही follow करना चाहिए. We should store our regular water in matkas and drink out of that. We should avoid using plastic bottles, plastic glasses. We should stick to steel. If as much as possible, try to keep away from plastic. So these are all myths. They have to sell something, so it's great for people who are selling black water, not for the people who are drinking it.
Right. Alright, so since you came on the topic of myths, let's talk about it. So what are some common myths about healthy eating that you would like to debunk?
Well, see, there are a lot of myths, and every now and then the myths keep changing. But actually what I want to share with you is that the way to know whether what you are eating is right or not, and whether to fall for any myth or not. So there are 3 tests that you should put your food through to know if what you're eating is good for you or not. So number one is the grandmother's test. This generally we share with a lot of our students and children, but this works well for all age groups.
Correct.
So the first test is the grandmother's test. So grandmother's test is basically in two parts. Firstly, has your grandmother, does she know this as food? Does she recognize this as food? And secondly, has she eaten it when she was growing up? So let's say, for example, let's look at kale versus methi.
Huh.
Okay, did your grandmother know of kale? I don't think so. And has she grown up eating this when she was young? I don't think so
No.
either. So it fails the test. But you compare it to methi, would she be able to recognize
Yes.
methi? Yes. And would she have grown up eating
Yes.
this? Yes. So it passes the test.
Huh.
The second test is the local name test or the Matrubhasha test. Okay.
Okay.
Basically, the food that you're eating should have a name in your local language or in your mother tongue and not just in English. Okay. So, for example, if we are looking at, say, fruits, so we're looking at an avocado versus a mango. Avocado, I don't think has a name in any other language, but mango, you call mango amba, you call mango you call mango by different names in different regions. So it is something that passes the test.
Correct.
The third test is versatility test. Now versatility means the ability of the food to be made into different dishes. So here maybe we look at the example of quinoa, because that's something that has been spoken about a lot as a superfood. Yeah. So now you compare quinoa to rice. Now, how much do you know about quinoa? What all can you make out of it? I don't know anything that can be made out of it. I don't know about the rest, but I don't know what can be made out of it. But about rice, what all can be made
A
from
lot
rice?
of.
You make kheer from rice, you make pulao, exactly. You make pulao from rice, you make biryani from rice. You can make so many different things out of rice. And it's something that in our culture we use it from shadi se shradd tak. Yeah, birth to death, basically, we are using rice.
Yes.
So, rice is something that is versatile and can be used in various things, not just as a food preparation, but also in as therapy. If you are sick,
Correct.
you have khichdi. Even in festivals, when हम जब टीका लगाते हैं कोई भी फेस्टिवल में, तो उसके बाद हम चावल
Correct.
लगाते हैं. So, we are using it in art, in culture, in festivals, as therapy and as food. So if your food is passing these three tests, grandmother test, local name test and versatility test, then you know that what you're eating is good for you. And if it fails any of these tests, then you should know that you should avoid it.
Amazing. Alright. So lastly, what advice would you give to someone looking to start their journey towards better health through mindful and sustainable nutrition?
The first thing that you should do is don't fall prey to marketing, positioning and pricing of foods. Just work at eating your time-tested meal combinations and time-tested meal proportions. And the other thing that we suggest is don't ever go on a diet.
Okay.
Food is something that you live and die with. Eat the food that you like to eat. Fear is fattening, guilt is fattening, food is not fattening. So eat everything that grows around you, that's cooked in your kitchen and that you like to eat. Thirdly, make exercise and activity a part of your daily life. Invest at least 150 minutes per week in exercise, and break the sitting, because we sit a lot. So for every 30 minutes of sitting at one place, at least stand or walk around for 3 minutes. And lastly, sleep is one of the most underrated aspects of good health. So make sure that you are sleeping on time every day.
Okay.
And regulate the use of gadgets. So don't go to sleep with your phone. We have started treating the phone as a body part. वो body का part नहीं है, उसको दूर रखो, so that you get good quality sleep, because all the repair, recovery,
Yes.
all of the rebuilding work happens in sleep at night. So sleep is very crucial. So if you work at following all of these three primary things, eat right, exercise regularly and sleep on time, then you are in a good place.
Beautiful. And I also feel that sometimes बहुत सारे लोग क्या करते हैं, if I eat a lot of sugar or bread today, then tomorrow I'll go on full-fledged diet, or tomorrow I might not eat much.
Correct. See, there is no such thing as no food is a problem. No food that comes from your kitchen is a problem, and anything that, like I said, is coming out of a packet or promising you quick weight loss and stuff is what you should keep away from. Sugar ho ya salt ho, if you're having it as part of your laddus, kheers, homemade papad, all of these things are very, very safe to eat. Don't fear the right things and stay away from the wrong things.
Great, great. Beautiful. All right. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Most welcome. Thank you so much, Jevi. And I think what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful initiative, and I think we need more of this. To happen. Ecopathy sounds wonderful, and keep up with everything. All the best to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Even your perception towards dieting, your perception towards food habits, especially inspires me to work towards a better and healthy lifestyle.
No, I'm so glad. And we would, encourage everyone to read all of Ruchita ma'am's books, but especially for all students and parents to read Notes for Healthy Kids.
Yes.
This is a book that has a lot of good, sustainable advice which will keep you healthy and the planet happy.
Great, amazing.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. तो दोस्तों, ये था एक और इंस्पायरिंग एपिसोड जो हमें ये सिखाता है कि सेहत और सस्टेनेबिलिटी का रास्ता हमारे रोज के चॉइसेस से शुरू होता है. रिमेंबर, ईट लोकल, थिंक ग्लोबल. जो आप अपनी थाली में डालते हो उसका असर सिर्फ आपकी हेल्थ पर नहीं बल्कि पूरे प्लैनेट पर होता है. स्मॉल स्टेप्स लाइक ईटिंग सीजनल, रिड्यूसिंग फूड वेस्ट और माइंडफुल चॉइसेस ये एक हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल और सस्टेनेबल फ्यूचर का फाउंडेशन है. सो स्टार्ट टुडे. और हाँ, अगर आपको ये एपिसोड पसंद आया हो तो इस पॉजिटिव मैसेज को स्प्रेड करो, लाइक करो, अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करो और नए इंस्पायरिंग कंटेंट के लिए सब्सक्राइब करो. डोंट फॉरगेट टू हिट द बेल आइकन फॉर अपडेट्स. स्टे हेल्दी, ईट माइंडफुली एंड कीप मेकिंग अ डिफरेंस. एक प्लेट से एक प्लैनेट तक. Until then, keep embracing sustainability and I'll see you next time.